Hello, everyone. I am not Chad Jones, for those of you who don't know me. We switched. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about the Coptic prayer, which is on blue tab page 1 in your book if you want to look at it. And I thought this was interesting because, this is something that Hamid Bey brings to us. And John did a numerology reading on this prayer. And he said he came up with the Atlantean energy. It's a very old and very powerful energy. So this is a really powerful prayer. And another little interesting story before I get into it. I was practicing to talk and with the cat, and I was walking through it, and suddenly near the end of it, she goes, "Look outside!" And there was 100 ducks lined up in rows outside, all facing the house. It was the strangest thing. And there's usually maybe 10 or 5 or 10 ducks at the most. I think 10 is the most I've ever seen. And so I thought that was interesting. And what came to mind was a story that John tells about when he was playing golf with Hamid Bey, and Hamid had hit the ball and he duffed it, and it was heading straight for the water. But a duck walked right in front of the ball, and it stopped the ball from going into the water and losing that extra stroke. So immediately I thought, wow, this must be Hamid Bey, because as soon as I was done going over it, the ducks all turned around and swam their separate way. And so it was very strange, needless to say. You see that many ducks, I'm thinking, well, let's see, it's either Hamid Bey or Alfred Hitchcock, one or the other. So that was kind of interesting. So I guess that really says that, Hamid Bey is here, and he's supporting that we encourage this prayer, and I think it's really powerful. I say it at least once or twice every day, and so anyway. And one other thing: ducks are symbolic of emotional healing. Another interesting thought, and I believe that that's what this prayer is asking, and it's setting a goal for emotional healing and coming to that joy within. So why don't we go ahead and let's just say the prayer together, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So if it's on blue tab page 1, the Coptic prayer. Heavenly Father, make my heart thy garden of joy and happiness, thy temple of peace. May the radiant lights of the Spirit illuminate the pathway of my life, uniting my soul and mind into one God of love. May the perception of such enlightenment guide me in the fulfillment of my thoughts and desires. May the fragrance of thy presence be ever manifested in my life. Peace, peace, peace. So I thought about this and did a little meditating on it, and this is just my view of the prayer, and maybe this might inspire some of you to look at it a little deeper and maybe come up with your own. So when we think about it, it starts out Heavenly Father. So here, this opening statement, it's directing our attention to the Creator, or the center of all that is. So the center is a place that a lot of people, the Christians, call heaven. And it's really, we all know that heaven is a state of consciousness that we make or we don't. We're either there or we're not there. So basically, the prayer is starting out invoking the divine center to bring this energy down into us, and to bring our focus to the center, and ultimately, through a conditioned response of saying this, more frequently, it'll bring us to a higher state of consciousness, to bring our focus to God, or the center of the universe. Then he goes on, make my heart thy garden of joy and happiness. So when you think about it, our heart is our center. This is our center of our joy and the center of our pain. So here, the level of joy that we feel is said to be a measure of our consciousness. This is what I believe, that the more joy that you feel in your heart, in a way that's, you're moving up the consciousness chain. And so here we're asking the divine to plant seeds of consciousness within our heart, and that these seeds grow into a more conscious and joyful being. Because forgiveness, or healing of the heart, is really viewing a situation from a higher point of view. In other words, raising our consciousness from that point. Like Einstein says, a problem can never be solved at the same level that it was conceived. So we have to look at it from a different point of view, and then that can heal our pain. So things that were our pain, then turn into our power, into our strength, into our joy. So to forgive, so basically this is bringing us to a higher point of view to forgive and to experience joy and happiness in our hearts. Then it goes on, thy temple of peace. Here we're asking that our hearts become a temple of peace. So when you think about a temple is a place where you go and you find peace, right? If you go into a temple, you sit there and you meditate and stuff. So when we focus on our heart and our feelings, then we're letting go of that chattering monkey that's inside of us. Don't forget to mow the lawn, do this, pay the bills, all this kind of stuff that bothers us. So we're leaving that thinking mind of the material world, and we're moving into our hearts where we can find joy and move through our feelings. So this becomes a sacred sanctuary that's always there for us to choose when we need it to be safe. So our heart does become our temple, that when we go there and we can find peace at any time. May the radiant lights of the Spirit unite my soul and mind into one thought of love. In the Western world and the way we're raised in the Western world, we spend so much time in our heads, right? How many people really are able to shut up that chattering monkey and meditate, And I know I'm the same way. It's like, shut up already, So this is talking about uniting that. So our third eye, if we think about our intuition or our thinking, if you think about that without any heart, it's cold and calculating and business-like. We got to do this, and this, and you'll do this, and this. But when we combine this rational thought of the mind with the compassion of our hearts, we have this winning balance of mind and body. So here we're asking that they're combined. So another way to view this is that so many live in our minds with limited experience of the energetic or the soul or the spirit world. So like when you think about it, Jesus said, I am in the world, but not of the world. So what I believe he was describing that he has a body, but he lives in the energetic or spiritual world, that he's living in that heaven already that we talk about and we ascribe to. So this would be as opposed to many who are always thinking and living in the material world. I got to get the lawn mowed, I got to pay the bills, I got to do this, and I got this list a mile long to do, and that's like me every weekend, you're looking at the list. And so here we enter into the spiritual or energetic world of the emotions of the heart. God is on the other side of these emotions, I believe. So we enter the state of spirit through a conscious combination of thought and heart. And when we combine the soul and mind, the results are thoughts of love, and the focus moves from a world of chaos to the peace of God. May the perception of such enlightenment guide me in the fulfillment of my thoughts and desires. Here we are asking for the wisdom of our enlightenment, or our connection with God, to guide us on our journey and to achieve our earthly goals. These are our thoughts. And our emotional and spiritual goals. These are our desires. Here it's saying that it's okay to have desires and goals. It's okay to want material things and to go after them. And it's okay to be prosperous in life and be prosperous in spirit. But it's also asking that we be aware of the Spirit of God throughout the journey of these goals. And that the wisdom of Spirit guide us through this journey. So in other words, to me it's saying it's a journey. Life's a journey. And let's enjoy it and be one with ourselves and be one with Spirit as we're going through it. May the fragrance of thy presence be ever manifest in my life. When our consciousness is focused on Spirit and the energetic, our senses are heightened, and it's common to smell a pleasant fragrance. As opposed to when our consciousness is focused on worldly things, and all we smell are worldly things. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good, right? The divine presence doesn't seem to be automatic just when we change our focus. We go there, but Spirit brings us to divine guidance on her own terms. Sometimes, we meditate and we have great insight, and sometimes we meditate and nothing. So it's really Spirit there. So what we're asking here is that we're asking divine presence for that Spirit, that fragrance of divineness to be with us at all times. Peace, peace, peace. May we experience peace in our body, mind, and soul. So really, prayer is more about focus and intention than words. In my mind, some of the best prayers don't even have words, but are made up of images and emotions. So let's see and feel this prayer now, and let's not just say the words, but let's feel it. So let's say it again together, and let's feel. Let's think about what was said here, and let's say it again, and see how it feels this time. And come into the heart. Let go of the mind, let go of the daily things, and just step into your heart. And Heavenly Father, make my heart thy garden of joy and happiness, thy temple of peace. May the radiant lights of the Spirit illuminate the pathway of my life, uniting my soul and mind into one thought of love. May the perception of such enlightenment guide me in the fulfillment of my thoughts and desires. May the fragrance of thy presence be ever manifested in my life. Peace, peace, peace. How does that feel? Right? Ultimately, everything that happens to us or that we create comes to us as a gift from Spirit. To believe that we have any control over the events of life is an illusion. Spirit is far greater and knows far more than we could ever imagine. All that we have control over is our perception of life. So the sooner we let go of control, shift our perception, and live in the energetic world of Spirit, the sooner we will find our joy. For Spirit wants heaven for all of us. Our job is to let go of the material world and let Spirit bless our lives. Then we will all experience heaven. Thank you.